The world is a chessboard of minds, and most people are pawns moved by unseen hands. You want power? Influence? The ability to make others think, act, and decide in your favor? Then listen closely, because what I will teach you today is not kindness, it is control. Every day you are manipulated, and by leaders, lovers, merchants, and kings. You believe you are free, yet your choices are shaped by those who understand how the mind bends. The problem is not that you lack strength. The problem is that you lack strategy. So today I will show you, as Niccolò Machiavelli once showed princes, how to control minds. Men dream of power, but few understand its nature. Power does not belong to those who shout loudest. It belongs to those who can whisper and still be obeyed. To command others, you must first command your own impulses. Emotion is the enemy of influence. A ruler of minds must be cold, patient, and deliberate. Power, that sacred and poisonous desire, every man wants it. Few admit it, and fewer still know how to obtain it. You see, most people think power is taken with force, through muscle, money, or position. But true power, the kind that bends minds and reshapes the world, begins long before the crown rests on your head. It begins here, in the mind, not in theirs, but in yours. Before you control others, you must learn to control yourself. That is the first and most painful lesson, for how can a man rule another's thoughts when he is a prisoner of his own emotions? The ambitious are easily ruined not by their enemies, but by their impatience. They act before the time is ripe. They speak before silence has finished its work. They reveal too much too soon, and the game ends before it begins. Understand this. Emotion is weakness disguised as passion. The powerful feel, yes, but they never let feelings command their judgment. Anger blinds, love distracts, fear paralyzes, and pride destroys. True manipulator studies each emotion as a weapon, never as a master. He decides when to show anger, when to feign compassion, when to withdraw into silence. To control minds, you must first perform for them. An actor playing many roles on a stage of desire. Most men are slaves to their impulses. Offer them gold, they reach. Offer them praise, they smile. Offer them love, they kneel. But offer them nothing. Silence, mystery, denial. And watch how they crumble to gain your attention. The powerful understand this instinctively. They do not chase. They attract. They do not plead. They command by withholding. For in the economy of influence, scarcity is the highest form of control. But the greatest trap for any ruler or any schemer is vanity. Vanity whispers that you are in control when in truth, you are being controlled by your hunger for validation. A man who needs to be admired will soon dance to the tune of those who flatter him. A man who needs to be loved will soon obey those who promise affection. Power belongs to those who can endure being misunderstood, hated, and alone. To rule the world of men, you must be willing to walk apart from it. Do you know why most people never rise above mediocrity? Because they seek comfort more than control. They trade influence for the illusion of safety. They follow the crowd, not because the crowd is wise, but because solitude terrifies them. Yet every great manipulator, every king, conqueror, or strategist, was forged in solitude. Alone he studies human nature. Alone he observes what moves the masses and what silences them. Alone he builds the patience to wait for the perfect moment to strike. The crowd laughs at his distance, until the day he moves and the crowd falls silent. The problem of power is not that it cannot be gained, but that it cannot be held by the undisciplined. Power attracts envy, fear, and resistance. If you rise without mastery, you will fall by your own chaos. Therefore, you must not only seek control, you must deserve it. Deserve it by understanding how fragile it is, how easily it slips from those who hold it carelessly. Power is not a possession. It is a performance, a constant illusion you must maintain. You must learn to read men as you would read a script. Each one has a weakness. Some seek approval, others crave wealth, most desire to feel important. Identify this hunger, and you will know where to strike. But remember, you cannot read others if your own mind is clouded. A clear mind sees opportunity where others see chance. A calm mind hears truth in a crowd of noise. The ruler of minds is not the loudest voice in the room, but the one who listens, watches, and waits until all others have revealed themselves. Observe the powerful of our time. Politicians, leaders, influencers, they do not shout commands. They plant ideas. They make you believe the decision was your own. That is the highest form of control, to make another serve your will while he believes he serves his own. This is the art of subtle dominance, the invisible rule, and it begins with restraint. The man who can wait holds more power than the one who acts first. So train your instincts. When insulted, stay calm. When provoked, smile. When others rush, remain still. People will wonder what you know that they do not, and in their uncertainty they will begin to defer to you, not because you demanded it, but because you mastered yourself. That is the silent conquest, the beginning of true dominion over minds. Most will never understand this. They confuse noise with strength, aggression with authority, kindness with weakness. Let them. Their confusion is your weapon. Because when chaos consumes them, you will be the one standing still, watching, calculating, unseen yet present. And when they finally turn their desperate eyes toward you for direction, that is when you lead, calmly, deliberately, as if the outcome was never in question. To control minds is to first control the rhythm of your own thoughts. Do not react to every move. Create the illusion that every move leads back to you. Speak less, observe more, and let others reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. Remember, the greatest power is not in domination but in influence. The ability to make others choose what you desire, believing it was their idea all along. The problem of power, then, is not about who holds it. It is about who deserves to. Truth is a fragile thing, my friend. It bends, it breaks, it changes shape under the weight of belief. Yet perception endures. It is not what is that rules the world, but what people believe is. And the man who understands this simple law holds more power than any king crowned by truth alone. Consider the nature of the human mind. It does not crave truth. It craves comfort. It seeks certainty, even in lies, rather than the discomfort of doubt. People do not want reality. They want reassurance. They do not ask, is it true? They ask, does it feel true? And whoever gives them that feeling controls their faith, their loyalty, even their resistance. This is why the wise man does not waste time convincing others of facts. He shapes their perception, and they convince themselves. Perception is the theater of power. The world itself is your stage. You must understand the script, the lighting, the costume, the illusion. The masses watch, and they do not question what is behind the curtain. They believe the show, because it is easier than facing the machinery that drives it. If you wish to control minds, you must become the architect of their illusions. Let them see what you choose for them to see, and let them never suspect the hand that shows it. Appearances are the armor of influence. You may be weak, uncertain, or even lost within yourself, but if you appear composed, decisive, and sure, they will follow you. People are guided not by truth, but by confidence. The bold man, even when wrong, inspires more faith than the timid man who speaks truth. This is the cruel beauty of perception. It rewards audacity and punishes doubt. Therefore, never reveal hesitation. The moment you question yourself, others will begin to question you. You must learn to manipulate how others see you, not who you truly are. It is not necessary to be virtuous, only to appear virtuous. It is not necessary to be wise, only to sound wise. Reputation is stronger than reality. False image, skillfully maintained, will outlive even the most honest soul. The world rarely looks beyond the mask, because the mask is easier to understand than the man behind it. Ask yourself, when you see a man dressed in fine clothes, walking with calm authority, do you not assume he is powerful? When you hear someone speak with conviction, do you not feel drawn to believe them? Such is the simplicity of human judgment. The eyes rule the mind more than reason ever will. You can destroy your enemies not by argument, but by perception. Make them appear foolish, dishonest, unstable, and the crowd will turn on them without evidence. To command the crowd, you need not truth. You need only spectacle. Machiavelli once wrote that men judge more by the eyes than by the hands, for everyone can see, but few can touch. This is why perception governs truth. A ruler's greatest weapon is not the sword, but the image of the sword, the belief that he can strike. Once people believe in your power, you seldom need to use it. The illusion itself keeps them obedient. But understand, maintaining perception is a delicate art. Too much perfection invites suspicion. Too much humility invites pity. You must strike a balance between visibility and mystery. Let them see just enough to believe, but never enough to know. A glimpse of virtue here, a display of strength there, each carefully crafted to reinforce the myth of who you are. People will fill in the gaps with their imagination, and their imagination will always serve you better than any truth could. Your enemies, however, will seek to expose you. They will try to drag your truth into the light, but you must never fight truth with truth. You fight truth with a better story. You fight facts with feeling. When accused, do not defend, reframe. Turn weakness into strategy, failure into humility, cruelty into necessity. If you can make people understand why you acted, they will forgive even what they would condemn in others. The truth can be twisted, but perception once formed is almost impossible to kill. Learn also to use symbols. Symbols speak to the masses more deeply than reason. A crown, a title, a gesture of mercy, a word repeated often enough. All these shape perception. The people will remember the symbol long after the truth has faded, and when the truth finally rises, it will be too late. Their loyalty will already belong to the image you created. There is no ruler, no politician, no prophet who has not used perception as his foundation. The illusion of honesty has built more empires than honesty itself. Even religion, politics, and love survive not on truth, but on the stories people choose to believe. To master perception is to master the story, and the storyteller holds all the power. When you walk into a room, understand that every eye searches for something to believe in. Be that something. Let your posture, your tone, your silence command attention. Say less than others, but make each word feel deliberate. When people cannot predict you, they begin to imagine you. When they imagine you, they begin to fear you. And when they fear losing your favor, they will shape their own perception to please you. Control perception, and truth becomes irrelevant. You could fail publicly, and still be praised if people perceive your failure as noble. You could act cruelly and still be loved if people perceive your cruelty as strength. You could lie daily and still be trusted if people perceive your lies as vision. The mind does not crave reality. It craves meaning. Give them meaning and they will hand you their faith. Never forget, truth is dangerous. It exposes, it limits, it breaks the illusion that sustains control. So let others chase it, debate it, die for it. You instead will use it only when it serves perception. You will shape it, twist it, and wear it as a tool, never as a chain. For in the eyes of the world, truth may be sacred, but perception is divine. Every man desires to be seen as good, but the wise man, the man who seeks power, knows it is far more profitable to only appear good. Virtue in its pure form is a weakness. It binds you with rules that others will not follow. It makes you predictable, it makes you soft, and it exposes your intentions to those who have none of your restraint. Yet the appearance of virtue, that is the greatest disguise. It allows you to deceive without suspicion, to command trust while plotting advantage. The mask of virtue is the first crown worn by every ruler of minds. People crave morality, not because they are moral, but because they need to believe they are. They need heroes, saints, saviors, images of goodness to worship, and so you must give them what they crave. Let them see compassion, justice, humility. Speak of honor, of fairness, of loyalty. Speak with conviction, even when you mean none of it. The people will love you not for what you are, but for what you seem to be. They will project their own goodness onto your mask, and they will defend you against your enemies, even as you manipulate them both. Virtue, when displayed too honestly, breeds jealousy. But when worn like perfume, subtle, deliberate, and controlled, it inspires loyalty. Do not strive to be virtuous. Strive to be seen as virtuous. Let others boast of purity. You instead will master appearances. You will smile while plotting. You will promise while deceiving. You will flatter while calculating. The world does not reward the honest. It rewards the convincing. A ruler who acts with kindness is admired, but a ruler who appears kind while acting ruthlessly is feared and followed. The masses cannot see beyond the veil. Their eyes are drawn to gestures and words. A single act of public mercy can erase 100 acts of private cruelty. The crowd will always remember the image, never the intention. So when you strike, strike silently. When you deceive, do so behind a curtain of morality. Say that you act for the greater good, and the world will applaud your cunning as virtue. Machiavelli understood that goodness, when absolute, is a burden. The world is not kind to those who play fair. The wolf devours the lamb not because he hates it, but because nature favors the cunning. To survive among men is no different. You must play both roles, the wolf and the shepherd. The wolf to protect your interest, the shepherd to win their faith. Those who can do both will rule the flock forever. But there is danger in your disguise. The mask must fit naturally. It must never look forced. If you show too much virtue, they will suspect deceit. If you show too little, they will distrust your motives. You must learn balance, the art of moral theater. When you act kindly, do so in public, where all can see. When you act cruelly, do so in private, and let no whisper escape. If you must betray, do it quietly. If you must punish, do it swiftly. If you must deceive, do it with a smile. The secret to manipulation is not the act itself. It is the innocence you display afterward. Do not underestimate the power of reputation. A man once believed to be virtuous can commit any sin and still be forgiven. Reputation is the armor that shields your sins. Cultivate it carefully. Let people call you just, loyal, humble. Let your enemies accuse you of cunning. It will only make your followers love you more. They will defend your honor, because they cannot bear to believe they were fooled. In their loyalty lies your safety. Every leader, from emperors to priests to presidents, wears this mask. Some do it by instinct, others by design. They preach morality while building empires. They promise peace while planning conquest. They offer hope while selling obedience. And the people, blinded by their need to believe, follow with open hearts and closed eyes. This is the tragedy and the triumph of humanity. They prefer beautiful lies over uncomfortable truths. You must also master the art of selective virtue. Choose which moral to display depending on the audience. Among the strong, show integrity and decisiveness. Among the weak, show compassion and patience. Among rivals, show humility that conceals ambition. The same act can wear different masks depending on who watches. Perception is the clay. You are the sculptor. Even in conversation, use virtue as a tool. Let honesty serve you only when it strengthens your influence. Admit small faults to appear genuine, but never reveal the flaws that could undo you. Offer forgiveness publicly, but remember every betrayal privately. Praise your rivals in front of others, while quietly preparing their downfall. The most dangerous predator is the one who smiles before he strikes. The mask of virtue also disarms the suspicious. People will forgive manipulation if it comes from someone they believe moral. They will trust your motives, even when your actions contradict them. So long as your image remains untarnished, truth itself becomes irrelevant. You can twist it, reshape it, bury it beneath the weight of your reputation. The virtuous mask does not hide your intentions. It destroys the need for anyone to question them. There will be moments when your conscience stirs, when you hesitate between morality and advantage. Silence it. Conscience is the enemy of strategy. Remember, your goal is not to be good. It is to appear good while achieving power. The world does not reward virtue. It rewards effectiveness. History remembers the successful, not the righteous. The saints are praised only after the kings are finished ruling. The mask is not deceit. It is armor. Without it, you would be vulnerable to the judgment of lesser men. Those who expose their true nature are destroyed by those who hide theirs better. Virtue is a costume in the theater of influence. Wear it gracefully. Never let it slip, never let it crack. Let them love the image, while you wield the truth behind it like a blade concealed beneath silk. The man who perfects the mask of virtue does not need to justify his actions. His reputation will do it for him. His followers will invent excuses for his betrayals, defend his cruelty, and sanctify his ambition. They will build his myth for him, brick by brick, out of their own need to believe in something pure. And in that blindness, he will find his greatest strength. Every ruler, every leader, every manipulator faces one question that defines the limits of their power. Is it better to be loved or to be feared? The world will tell you that love is the highest virtue, that affection binds people more tightly than terror. But those who live by sentiment soon learn the cruelty of disappointment. Love is a fragile thread, woven from emotion and easily torn by self-interest. Fear, on the other hand, is a chain, cold, unbreakable, and far more loyal than affection will ever be. Machiavelli once said that men are ungrateful, fickle, deceitful, and greedy. They will promise you everything in safety and betray you the moment danger appears. When you build your influence upon their love, you build upon sand. But if they fear to cross you, if they fear the loss of your favor or the weight of your punishment, they will obey even when they despise you. Fear endures where love decays. Love demands maintenance. It requires gifts, attention, forgiveness. It ties you to the emotions of others. You must constantly feed it to keep it alive. Fear, however, requires only a single demonstration of strength. One act of decisive power, one reminder of what disobedience costs, and men will remember. They may curse your name in private, but they will still kneel when you pass. Love asks for devotion. Fear commands it. Understand this. Fear does not mean cruelty without purpose. It is not chaos nor mindless brutality. It is discipline. It is the unspoken understanding that defiance carries consequence. The wise ruler does not make himself hated. He makes himself respected. The difference is subtle but crucial. Hatred invites rebellion. Fear restrains it. You must make people dread your power, but never your existence. They must see your wrath as justice, your punishment as necessity. Cloak fear in the language of order, and even your cruelty will seem righteous. People may love you for what you give them, but they will fear you for what you can take away. Power lies in that difference. The one who can grant mercy must first possess the ability to inflict harm. Show too much softness, and they will mistake it for weakness. Show no mercy at all, and they will turn against you. You must learn to strike a balance between compassion and control. A delicate tension where people love your presence but fear your displeasure. Love binds through the heart, but fear binds through survival. When love is tested, people flee to protect themselves. When fear is tested, they stay because they dare not flee. Every ruler who has lost power began with the belief that love was enough. But affection does not defend a throne. Loyalty bought with emotion dies the moment it costs too much to keep. Loyalty built on fear lasts because disobedience is too costly to risk. Think of every leader who has risen and fallen. The loved ones were betrayed by those who swore devotion. The feared ones died only when they grew careless. It is not the warmth of the heart that secures obedience, but the chill of consequence. When people weigh the cost of betraying you, make sure they find the price unbearable. Even in the smallest circles of life, friendship, business, love, this law remains true. People admire strength and exploit softness. They are drawn to confidence and despise desperation. When you make yourself too available, too forgiving, too eager to please, you teach them that you need their approval. The moment they sense this, their respect withers. But when they feel your independence, your calm indifference, your ability to withdraw affection without warning, they begin to chase what they cannot control. Fear works silently, even in intimacy. Do not mistake this for cruelty. To use strategy, a ruler must learn to inspire just enough fear to prevent betrayal, and just enough warmth to prevent revolt. Too much fear and people plot in the shadows. Too much love and they grow entitled. The art lies in being unpredictable, merciful one day, merciless the next. Let them never feel certain of your reactions. Uncertainty breeds caution, and caution is the twin of obedience. When you do show kindness, let it be rare and memorable. Mercy loses its value when it is too frequent. If your followers expect forgiveness, they will test your limits. If they fear your disappointment, they will never dare. Love makes them bold. Fear keeps them measured. Use love as the flower that hides the thorn, not as the soil in which your rule grows. A ruler's love can inspire, yes, but it is fear that preserves. Men will follow a loved leader in good times, but abandon him in hardship. They will follow a feared one even through misery, because fear binds the will when emotion falters. People may claim they prefer to be led by love, but watch how quickly they obey the one they fear. The tongue lies, instinct does not. The key is control, not brutality. Fear must serve purpose. Punish swiftly, but only when necessary. Never in anger, always in demonstration. Let every act of discipline echo a message that loyalty is rewarded, but betrayal is fatal. Once that lesson is understood, your power no longer requires constant enforcement. It sustains itself because the memory of consequence is stronger than the promise of affection. Love may win hearts, but fear wins silence. and silence is where control begins. The man who is loved is spoken of fondly when present and forgotten when gone. The man who is feared is spoken of carefully, always with caution even when he is not there. That is influence. That is control. To be loved is to live in the warmth of others. To be feared is to live rent-free in their minds. Remember, people can stop loving you when it suits them, but they cannot stop fearing what you might do. Love makes you vulnerable to the moods of others. Fear makes them prisoners to yours. A wise manipulator wears both. Love for the stage, fear for the shadows. Love opens the door, fear keeps it closed. Love invites loyalty. Fear ensures it never leaves. Truth is a luxury of the powerful. The weak cannot afford it. Those who cling to truth without strategy are not virtuous, they are naive. The world does not reward honesty. It rewards results. And in the pursuit of power, deception is not a sin. It is a weapon. The wise learn to wield it with precision, while the foolish fall victim to their own sincerity. To control minds, you must master the art of lying beautifully, convincingly, and only when it serves your purpose. Most men lie clumsily, driven by fear or guilt. Their lies expose them because they serve emotion, not calculation. But the skilled deceiver lies as one paints, a deliberate brushstroke, calm, confident, flawless. He understands that deception is not merely about hiding truth, but about constructing belief. The best lie is not the one people cannot detect. It is the one they do not want to detect. The lie that comforts, that flatters, that gives them what they wish to believe. Once they choose your illusion willingly, you no longer need to maintain it. They will defend it for you. Deception works best when it hides behind fragments of truth. Never lie completely. Always anchor the falsehood to something real. A full lie invites suspicion, but a half-truth disarms it. If you must deceive, let your words resemble honesty. Admit small truths to conceal greater ones. Show one weakness to disguise 10 strengths. Reveal one intention to hide the true objective. The clever manipulator never denies. He redirects. When accused, he confuses. When confronted, he smiles. He speaks so calmly that others doubt their own certainty. In the end, they question themselves more than they question him. Remember, deception is not always verbal. A gesture, a pause, a sigh, these can lie more effectively than words. People believe what they see, not what they hear. Appear nervous when you want them to underestimate you. Appear kind when you intend harm. Appear indifferent when you are plotting. Every action you perform is a message. Every silence a statement. The most powerful lies are performed, not spoken. You must also learn to deceive through expectation. Promise much, deliver little, but deliver it with spectacle. People will forgive failure if it is wrapped in drama, but they will never forgive boredom. Make your gestures grand, your excuses noble. When you fail, make it seem like fate. When you succeed, make it seem like destiny. Control the narrative, and deception becomes indistinguishable from truth. Do not waste deceit on trivial matters. Every lie must serve a design. Deception, when used carelessly, becomes noise. When used with precision, it becomes art. The skilled manipulator lies not for amusement, but for advancement. He deceives to control outcomes, to protect power, to shape perception. Truth and falsehood are merely tools. Their morality is irrelevant. What matters is effect. If deception achieves stability, it becomes wisdom. If honesty leads to ruin, it becomes foolishness. The world judges not by intention, but by success. Understand human nature and you will understand why deception works. People want to believe. They seek stories that justify their desires. They crave meaning more than accuracy. Tell them what they wish to hear, and they will give you their trust. Once they trust you, their guard lowers. And when the guard lowers, the mind opens. That is when control begins. Never fight against the delusion of others. Feed it, guide it, and turn it to your advantage. There is also deception in silence. A lie unspoken can be more powerful than one declared. When others speak, let them reveal themselves. When they ask, answer less than they expect. Leave your sentences incomplete. Their imagination will finish them in your favor. The void between your words becomes your ally. People fear uncertainty, so they fill it with assumptions that flatter their hopes. Your silence becomes their deception, and you never had to utter a word. Even mercy can be deception. A well-timed act of forgiveness can disarm suspicion. Spare a rival and he will think you noble. But mercy is only valuable when it hides strategy. Forgive publicly to appear virtuous, but never forget privately. Every favor you grant, every kindness you show must be calculated. Kindness without purpose is weakness. Kindness that conceals intent is control. You will meet those who preach transparency, who boast of honesty as a virtue. They are either fools or liars. No ruler, no leader, no lover ever held influence without deception. Truth spoken plainly is a sword that cuts both ways. It gives others the weapon of your intentions. To survive among wolves, you cannot walk as a lamb. You must smile with sincerity while hiding your teeth. The most dangerous men are not those who lie, but those who convince you they never do. Deception must also protect you from exposure. When accused, do not defend. Defense admits weakness. Instead, confuse. Deny nothing but admit nothing. Redirect their attention to your accuser. Make his motive suspect. People prefer a villain with charm over a hero who hesitates. The one who speaks with calm confidence will always appear more truthful than the one who protests too loudly. Appear certain, and the crowd will believe even when you are fabricating every word. There will be moments when you are tempted to tell the truth out of fatigue, to clear the burden of deceit. Resist it. The truth once spoken can never be controlled again. It becomes a weapon in the hands of others. Let your truth be as fluid as water, always moving, always changing shape according to the vessel it must fill. The wise man does not live by truth or lies, he lives by necessity. Deception, when mastered, ceases to feel like deceit. It becomes instinct, a way of seeing the world not as it is, but as it must appear to achieve your ends. You no longer lie. You create reality. You no longer deceive. You direct perception. The crowd becomes your mirror, reflecting only what you wish them to see. And in that reflection, you find the quiet satisfaction that every word, every gesture, every silence has become part of your invisible power. If you wish to control minds, you must first understand the creature that holds them. Man, not the man of philosophy or poetry, but the true man, the one that breathes greed, fears death, and worships comfort. The greatest error of those who seek power is believing people are guided by reason. They are not. They are guided by desire, fear, and vanity. And whoever masters these three strings can play the entire orchestra of mankind. Human nature is predictable. Men will always prefer ease to effort, praise to truth, illusion to reality. They will betray principle for profit and love for survival. They are loyal only to what serves them. They will swear devotion one day and whisper betrayal the next. They are not evil, merely selfish, and it is this selfishness that can be controlled. You do not fight it. You feed it. Make people believe that by serving you, they serve themselves, and they will never disobey. Observe them closely. The same man who shouts of honor will cheat for a small advantage. The same man who preaches humility will crave recognition. The same man who speaks of love will abandon it for comfort. There is no consistency in man, only appetite. Learn this, and disappointment will never touch you again. You will cease to expect loyalty, morality, or reason. And because of that, you will never be surprised when they fail. The crowd is a beast with many heads but a single mind. It does not think, it feels. It moves not with wisdom but with emotion. If you wish to control it, do not argue, entertain. Do not instruct, promise. Men do not seek truth. They seek satisfaction. The orator who flatters their illusions will be loved, while the one who speaks reality will be stoned. That is the law of the masses. Do not despise it, use it. Promise them greatness, justice, redemption, whatever dream they crave, and they will follow you even as you lead them into your own design. You must study human weakness as a general studies terrain. Every person has a gate through which influence enters. For some it is pride, for others fear, for many the desire to belong. Find that gate and you will never need to force entry. When you praise a man's ego, you hold his will. When you comfort his fear, you own his loyalty. When you make him feel chosen, you possess his soul. Power is not taken by strength. It is surrendered through emotion. Do not be deceived by appearances. The confident are often the most insecure. The humble are often the most proud. The kind are often the most cunning. Men hide their weaknesses not with strength but with performance. Watch what they defend most fiercely, and you will know their greatest fear. When a man insists on his honesty, he has something to conceal. When he boasts of his courage, he trembles inside. When he speaks too much of loyalty, he is preparing betrayal. People are not moved by logic, but by symbols. They are children who never outgrew stories. A word like freedom or honor can ignite armies, though neither word has a fixed meaning. You can bend these symbols to your will. Call conquest peace, call manipulation guidance, call obedience faith. They will accept the disguise because it allows them to feel righteous while submitting. Always give them noble names for their chains. They will wear them proudly. Remember also that people are more afraid of loss than they are tempted by gain. This is the heart of manipulation. Threaten what they already have, their status, their comfort, their belonging, and they will obey. Promise them new rewards, and they will hesitate. The fear of losing even a small comfort outweighs the desire for a greater victory. When you understand this, you will know how to guide behavior without command. You will notice that people crave recognition more than justice. They want to be seen, not understood. They will forgive insult faster than they will forgive being ignored. Make them feel invisible and they will hate you. Make them feel noticed and they will forgive anything. This is why flattery works better than truth. It fills the emptiness inside them that reason cannot touch. The man who knows how to make others feel significant can rule without ever lifting a sword. Do not expect gratitude. The moment you give a favor, they begin to resent you for it. Gratitude humiliates because it reminds them of dependence. They will take your gift, use it, and then seek a reason to despise you for giving it. Therefore, give strategically. Do not shower them with kindness. Make them earn it. Let them believe they have won your favor, not received it. What people earn, they value. What they are given freely, they forget. Understand also that most men desire morality only when it costs them nothing. They will defend principles loudly until they must sacrifice for them. Then they will abandon those principles and justify it later. The wise man does not scorn them for this, he expects it. He uses their hypocrisy as a compass, predicting every move before it happens. To foresee human behavior is to command it. Fear remains the strongest motivator. People speak of love, but fear governs their actions. Fear of failure, of rejection, of punishment, of isolation. Control these fears and you control the man. You need not threaten him openly. The possibility of loss is enough. Let him imagine the consequence of disobedience and he will discipline himself. The best form of control is the one that requires no enforcement. Every man, no matter how noble, hungers for approval. This weakness never dies. They seek it from friends, from lovers, from strangers. Use it. Withhold approval, and they will chase it. Grant it suddenly, and they will attach it to obedience. In their eyes, you become the measure of worth, the dispenser of validation. When their self-image depends on your gaze, you no longer need chains. They have built them for you. You must remember that while people change their faces, their essence never evolves. The tools of manipulation are ancient because the heart of man is ancient. Greed, fear, pride, envy, these are constants. The form of power may change, but the substance remains the same. The modern man is not wiser than his ancestor, only more distracted. The same levers that moved empires now move corporations, politics, and love. Only the language has changed. To rule minds, you must look upon humanity without illusion. Do not expect virtue, and you will never be disarmed by vice. Do not expect loyalty, and you will never be betrayed, only confirmed. Study man as a creature of instinct, not reason. Once you strip away the pretenses of civility, you will see what Machiavelli saw centuries ago. That power belongs to those who do not curse the darkness of human nature, but learn to walk through it with their eyes open. Loyalty is the most dangerous illusion in the realm of power. Every ruler desires it, every servant promises it, and yet loyalty is as stable as wind. It shifts with fear, with fortune, with opportunity. Men will kneel before you today and conspire against you tomorrow, if it serves their interests. To believe in unconditional devotion is to invite betrayal. The wise do not seek loyalty through love or trust. They build it through dependence. The art is not in winning hearts, but in binding hands. Understand this. No one is loyal to you. They are loyal to what you provide. Security, advantage, recognition. Take those away, and you will see how quickly affection turns to resentment. If you wish to control loyalty, never let those who serve you feel they can exist without you. Make them rely on your favor, your protection, your influence. Independence is the enemy of obedience. A man who can stand on his own will one day question why he kneels. The man who cannot survive without your hand will never dare to bite it. The clever ruler does not grant freedom. He grants comfort disguised as freedom. He allows his followers to believe they have choice, while ensuring every road leads back to him. He becomes their provider of safety and ambition, their source of both fear and hope. When you are both the cause of their success and the guardian of their survival, they will never know where loyalty ends and dependence begins. Do not mistake gratitude for loyalty. Gratitude fades the moment it is satisfied. Dependence, however, deepens with every favor given. When you do something for a man, do not complete the act fully. Leave him still needing you. Give him half of what he desires, so he must return for the rest. Let every reward become a chain, every kindness a subtle form of control. He will call it loyalty, but it will be need disguised as devotion. In the court of power, loyalty is currency, and every coin must be inspected. Never accept declarations of faith at face value. Test them, set small traps. Present your followers with choices that reveal their true allegiance. The one who hesitates at sacrifice is not loyal. He is merely comfortable. The one who obeys in silence, even when uncertain, is the one worth keeping. But even he must be watched. For loyalty today is not loyalty tomorrow. Men serve power not because they love it, but because they fear life without it. Therefore, remind them, gently but constantly, of the cost of losing your favor. Withdraw your attention for a day and they will panic. Delay your generosity and they will beg. Let them feel your absence as pain and your approval as relief. The heart becomes loyal to the one who controls its comfort. A ruler must also divide loyalties among his followers. Never allow unity beneath you. Unity breeds conspiracy. Keep them competing for your recognition, so their ambition consumes the energy that would otherwise turn into rebellion. Reward one, ignore another, then switch. In their struggle to please you, they will focus on outdoing each other, instead of questioning you. Control is strongest when it hides behind rivalry. You must also learn the art of false intimacy. Men are easily deceived by affection. Speak to each as if he alone holds your confidence. Share fragments of secrets, never the whole. Let him believe he is indispensable, that you trust him above all others. This illusion of closeness will chain him more effectively than any contract. He will defend you not from duty, but from pride, for betrayal would mean admitting he was never truly chosen. There will be those who resist dependency, the ambitious, the self-assured, the clever. With them, use flattery and burden. Praise their talents, then assign them tasks that entangle their pride with your service. Make their reputation depend on your approval. Let their rise be tied to your name so that your downfall would drag them with you. This is the invisible leash of power, not fear of punishment, but fear of losing status. Do not hesitate to replace loyalty with usefulness. A loyal fool is more dangerous than a clever rival. When a man's devotion begins to outweigh his value, distance him. Excessive loyalty often masks manipulation. He who flatters too much has plans too deep. Keep your circle tight but unstable. Rotate favor frequently so no one grows secure. The constant uncertainty keeps them sharp and obedient. Stability breeds arrogance. Unpredictability breeds respect. Even your closest allies must never forget who holds the reins. When they become too comfortable, remind them of your authority, not with open threat, but through demonstration. Remove a favored man suddenly, promote another unexpectedly. Such actions breed fear and awe, ensuring that loyalty remains active, not assumed. Let them see that power does not rest on friendship, but on merit defined by your will. The appearance of fairness strengthens loyalty better than fairness itself. When you reward, do so publicly. When you punish, do it quietly. People will respect the image of justice more than the reality of it. They will tell themselves you are fair, even when you are not, because the illusion comforts them. Let your reputation be that of a firm but generous ruler. Fear maintains obedience. Perceived fairness maintains admiration. Together they create unbreakable submission. Never underestimate the power of debt. The man who owes you his career, his wealth, his dignity, cannot hate you without hating himself. He will rationalize every injustice, excuse every cruelty, because to despise you would be to admit his dependence. Keep your followers indebted, financially, emotionally, socially. Give them positions they could not earn elsewhere, privileges they could never gain without you. Once they taste what you provide, they will dread returning to insignificance. You must also recognize that loyalty, when genuine, is still fragile. The same man who serves you faithfully for years can betray you in a single moment of fear. Therefore, never place your security in one man's devotion. Spread trust thinly, so no one person holds your ruin in his hands. Divide responsibility, rotate control, and ensure that every subordinate fears at least one rival, as much as he fears losing you. The web of suspicion will protect you better than any oath. To manipulate loyalty is to understand that it is not a feeling, but a condition. It is built not on love, but on leverage. A wise ruler does not demand loyalty. He engineers it. He shapes it like metal, through heat, pressure, and repetition. Those who serve him may call it allegiance, friendship, even love. But beneath every title lies the same truth. They stay because leaving would destroy them. It has been asked for centuries, what should a ruler desire more, to be loved or to be feared? The question deceives those who think in absolutes. For love and fear are not opposites, they are instruments. The wise ruler does not choose one. He understands how to play both, when to strike with terror and when to soothe with affection. But between the two, fear remains the more reliable chain, for love is a gift of the heart, while fear is a law of nature. Men love at their convenience and fear at yours. Their love depends on what you provide. Their fear depends on what you can take. Love dies when benefits fade, but fear endures so long as your power is remembered. A man may forget your kindness, but he will never forget your wrath. He will betray affection in a moment of temptation, but he will hesitate before the shadow of your consequence. Fear keeps loyalty awake when love has fallen asleep. To rule through love alone is to build on water. People's hearts are fickle. They love in moments, not in eternities. They will adore you when you flatter their hopes, but the moment those hopes are denied, affection turns to resentment. Love without strength invites manipulation. Mercy without vigilance invites betrayal. The ruler who seeks only to be loved soon finds himself begging for what should be commanded. Yet to rule through fear alone is to plant seeds of revolt. The man who trembles too much dreams of rebellion. Fear, when excessive, breeds hatred, and hatred always seeks opportunity. The art, then, is balance, to create a fear that restrains but does not paralyze, a love that flatters but does not empower. You must be both storm and shelter, capable of destruction yet known for mercy. Let them love your grace but never forget your capacity for cruelty. The foundation of power lies not in emotion, but in perception. People do not need to feel fear constantly, they only need to remember it. A single, well-timed punishment can inspire more obedience than 100 warnings. Make an example once and you will not need to repeat it. When punishment is rare, it feels divine, an act of fate rather than malice. The ruler who punishes seldom but decisively keeps both fear and respect alive. Love, on the other hand, must be distributed generously, but conditionally. It should feel attainable but never guaranteed. Give it in gestures, a word, a smile, a recognition, so that those beneath you crave it. Make your affection a prize, not a right. The value of love lies in its scarcity. When you love too freely, your favor loses meaning. Let them chase your approval and they will call it loyalty. Let them depend on it and they will call it devotion. Fear must never appear cruel for its own sake. Brutality without purpose reveals weakness. The wise ruler hides his ruthlessness behind reason. When you strike, do it as though forced by duty, not desire. Let the world believe you punish only when necessary, and your cruelty will be mistaken for justice. The victims will be pitied, but you will be respected. It is not enough to rule. One must appear to rule with principle, even when guided by strategy. In the hearts of men, love grows from hope. Fear grows from certainty. You must provide both. Give them hope in your mercy, but certainty in your power. Hope keeps them moving. Certainty keeps them obedient. When they know you can destroy them, yet choose not to, gratitude turns to reverence. They will call your restraint kindness and your dominance wisdom. Control their perception, and you control both love and fear without revealing either. Never reveal all your emotions. When people know your temper, they learn how to control it. When they know your heart, they learn how to wound it. Let them guess your feelings. Let them fear your silence. The unknown holds more terror than the visible threat. When they cannot predict your reaction, they will behave cautiously. Mystery itself becomes a form of power. A ruler's mercy must be deliberate, his anger rehearsed. When you forgive, make it public and memorable. When you punish, make it quiet and efficient. Public mercy inspires love. Private retribution maintains fear. One without the other leaves you exposed. The combination creates harmony. Affection mixed with unease, devotion mixed with restraint. They will smile in your presence, but their hearts will never forget who commands them. The greatest rulers have always understood how to wear two faces. They appear generous, approachable, and noble, but beneath that warmth lies a cold awareness of human frailty. They give with one hand and control with the other. They understand that love wins hearts, but fear keeps them. Those who master only one emotion are slaves to it. Those who master both command men's souls. You must never confuse being feared with being hated. Hatred consumes your control. Fear preserves it. People fear a lion because it is powerful. They hate a tyrant because he is petty. Keep your fear clean, free of cruelty, free of excess. Strike only when necessary and never from emotion. When you punish, let it be surgical. When you forgive, let it be graceful. Those who see your discipline will respect your strength. Those who see your mercy will believe in your fairness. Together, these two beliefs create unbreakable submission. Love may win the crowd, but fear secures the throne. The crowd's affection will turn at the first sign of weakness. Their fear will keep them silent even in doubt. The key lies in controlling timing. When you ascend, be generous. When you reign, be watchful. When you are challenged, be merciless. Men remember mercy briefly, but they remember punishment forever. One inspires warmth. The other ensures obedience. There is also a subtler form of fear, not of violence but of loss. Make them fear losing your favor, your approval, your protection. This fear is cleaner, more civilized, and infinitely more effective. It does not incite rebellion. It breeds dependency. The man who fears your disapproval will police himself. He will speak in your favor, defend you in absence, and obey without command. His fear will look like love, and that illusion will make your rule effortless. The balance of fear and love is the art of divine manipulation. To inspire fear without cruelty and love without weakness is the mark of the supreme mind. The masses will never understand how you do it. They will call it charisma, destiny, genius. But you will know the truth. It is not destiny, it is design. You will have discovered the secret that every prince, every leader, every master of men must learn, that love wins hearts, but fear owns them. Power in its truest form is not held in the hands, it is held in the minds of others. What you have witnessed is not a lesson in cruelty, but in understanding. To control minds is not to enslave them. It is to guide their nature toward your will. The world does not move by truth, justice, or morality. It moves by perception, by fear, by desire. Those who command these forces shape the destiny of nations, of lovers, of empires. You have learned that control begins not with domination, but with comprehension. You cannot rule what you do not understand. To know men is to see through their masks, to uncover the fear beneath their pride, the greed behind their generosity, the vanity within their virtue. Once you see them as they are, manipulation ceases to be cruelty. It becomes inevitability. You have seen how appearance eclipses reality, how power rests not in strength but in the illusion of it. You have seen that truth, when used without cunning, is weakness, and that deception, when used with precision, is art. You have understood that loyalty is not born of love but of dependence, and that mercy without control invites rebellion. Above all, you have learned the eternal balance, the dance between fear and love. To inspire one without losing the other is the mark of the master. Love makes them follow you willingly. Fear ensures they never turn away. Together, they form the invisible chain that binds men more tightly than any prison ever could. Remember, those who seek to control others must first control themselves. The greatest rulers do not shout, they whisper. They do not demand, they suggest. They do not force, they guide. Their strength lies not in noise, but in silence, not in chaos, but in design. Every gesture calculated, every word deliberate, every emotion a mask serving a purpose. This is the Machiavellian truth. Men are not led by angels, but by those who understand devils, within others and within themselves. To rule minds, you must descend into the machinery of human nature and turn its gears with steady hands, compassion when needed, deception when required, fear when necessary, love when useful. The world belongs not to the righteous, but to the strategic. And those who master this craft do not merely survive, they shape reality itself. For when you learn how to control minds, you no longer chase power. You become it.